Hello, lovely listeners. Welcome back to another episode of Fluent English with Podcast. I'm Sophie.
And I'm Alan. We're here to help you improve your English while having a great time together.
That's right. Today we have something special lined up for you. We're going to dive into some spooky stories.
Ooh, I love a good spooky story. But don't worry, we'll make sure to keep it easy to understand for all our beginner English learners out there.
Absolutely. So grab your blankets and get ready for some chills down your spine. We're going to share 4 different paranormal tales.
But before we start, let's talk a bit about what paranormal means. Basically, it's anything beyond the normal or scientific explanation. Ghosts, aliens, mysterious creatures, you name it.
Some people believe in these things, while others don't. What about you, Alan? Do you believe in paranormal events?
Well, I'm open-minded. I think there's still so much we don't understand about the world. How about you, Sophie?
Oh, I love a good ghost story, but I'm not sure if I believe in them. Maybe these stories will change my mind.
Well, let's find out. Our first story comes from a young man named David. He had a chilling encounter one dark night. Let's listen in.
It was a stormy night, and I was walking home from work. The wind howled like a hungry wolf, and the rain poured down like tears from the sky. Suddenly I heard footsteps behind me, but when I turned around, there was no one there. I picked up my pace, my heart racing in my chest. Then, I heard a whisper in my ear, "I'm coming for you." I froze in fear, unable to move. That's when I saw a shadowy figure looming in the darkness. I ran as fast as I could, my breath ragged, my legs burning with exertion. But no matter how fast I ran, the figure kept pace with me, its eyes glowing with a malevolent light. Just when I thought I couldn't go on any longer, I reached the safety of my home. I slammed the door shut behind me, panting and trembling with fear. And that's when I heard a low, sinister laugh echoing in the night.
Wow, what a spine-tingling tale. Alan, what did you think?
Ooh, that gave me goosebumps. It's like something straight out of a horror movie. I can't imagine being in David's shoes.
Definitely. I'm not sure if I would have had the courage to keep running like he did. But hey, maybe it was just his imagination playing tricks on him.
Who knows? That's the thing about paranormal stories, they leave you wondering. But one thing's for sure, they're great for practicing English listening skills. Our next story comes from a woman named Emily. She had a strange encounter one moonlit night. Let's hear her tale.
It was a quiet evening, and I was walking my dog in the park. The moon was full and bright, casting eerie shadows on the ground. As we strolled along, I noticed a faint glow emanating from the bushes. Curious, I approached cautiously, my dog growling low in her throat. Suddenly, a figure stepped out from the shadows. A woman, dressed all in white, with long flowing hair that seemed to shimmer in the moonlight. I tried to speak, but my voice caught in my throat. The woman's eyes were empty, devoid of any emotion or humanity. She reached out a hand toward me, her fingers stretching unnaturally long. Terrified, I turned and ran, my dog bounding beside me. But no matter how fast I ran, I could still feel the woman's presence behind me, her icy breath on the back of my neck. Finally, I reached the safety of my home and slammed the door shut behind me, my heart pounding in my chest. I peeked out the window, but the woman was nowhere to be seen.
Oh, that was intense. Sophie, what do you think?
Oh my goodness, my heart is still racing. That woman in white sounds like something straight out of a ghost story. Poor Emily must have been absolutely terrified.
Definitely. It's like she stepped into a real-life horror movie. But sometimes our minds can play tricks on us, especially in the dark.
That's true. Maybe it was just a trick of the light, or maybe Emily's imagination got the best of her. Either way, it's a gripping tale.
Absolutely. And it's a great example of how stories can help us practice our English skills while keeping us on the edge of our seats.
Exactly. So, dear listeners, get ready for even more thrills and chills as we dive into our next paranormal tale.
That's right. Our next story comes from a man named James. He had a hair-raising experience one night while exploring an abandoned house. Let's listen in.
It was a dare from my friends to spend the night in the old, decrepit house at the edge of town. They said it was haunted, but I didn't believe them. I thought it would be a piece of cake. As I stepped through the creaky door, a chill ran down my spine. The air was thick with dust, and the floorboards groaned under my weight. I explored the house room by room, my flashlight casting eerie shadows on the peeling wallpaper. But as the night wore on, strange things started happening. I heard footsteps echoing through the halls, even though I was alone. Objects moved on their own, and whispers filled the air, sending shivers down my spine. I tried to brush it off as my imagination, but deep down I knew something wasn't right. And then I saw a figure standing in the darkness, its eyes glowing with a malevolent light. I ran as fast as I could, my heart pounding in my chest, desperate to escape the house of horrors. And when I finally made it outside, I vowed never to return.
Wow, that gave me goosebumps. What did you think, Sophie?
Ooh, I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. Poor James, having to endure all those creepy happenings in that old house.
Definitely. Stories like these that make you wonder what's lurking in the shadows. Do you think the house was really haunted, or was it just James's imagination?
Who knows? But one thing's for sure, it made for a thrilling story and a great way to practice English listening skills.
Absolutely. Well, folks, we've got one more bone-chilling tale to share with you, so don't go anywhere. Stay tuned for more spooky stories and English practice.
We hope you're still with us for our final spine-tingling tale.
That's right. Our last story comes from a woman named Sarah. She had a bone-chilling encounter one night while staying in a remote cabin in the woods. Let's listen in.
It was supposed to be a peaceful getaway, a chance to escape the hustle and bustle of city life. But from the moment we arrived at the cabin, I knew something wasn't right. The air was heavy with an oppressive silence, broken only by the occasional rustle of leaves in the wind. As night fell, the darkness seemed to swallow us whole, and I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Then, strange things started happening. Objects would move on their own, and I would hear whispers in the dead of night, calling my name. I tried to brush it off as my imagination, but one night, things took a terrifying turn. I woke up to find myself paralyzed, unable to move or scream, as a shadowy figure loomed over me. Its eyes glowed with a malevolent light, and I could feel its icy breath on my skin. I wanted to run, to escape its clutches, but I was trapped in my own body, helpless against the darkness. And then, just as suddenly as it had appeared, the figure vanished, leaving me shaken to the core.
Ooh, that gave me chills. What did you think, Sophie?
Oh, I was holding my breath the whole time. Poor Sarah, having to endure such a terrifying experience alone in the woods.
Definitely. Stories like these make you wonder what else is out there lurking in the shadows. Do you think it was a real entity or just a trick of the mind?
Who knows? But one thing's for sure, it made for a thrilling story and a great way to practice English listening skills.
Absolutely. Well, folks, that brings us to the end of our spooky tales. We hope you enjoyed them as much as we did.
Until next time, happy learning and may your nights be free of ghostly encounters.
Bye for now.